really, really interesting. And it's a place, I mean, you can just walk up to it anytime you want to.
That's astounding. What?
You know, that,
But you said you could do that with just about everything there. That, to me, that's amazing.
yeah, I mean, it's, Hales Castle. We had another really interesting thing happen there, and that was another place that Carol Ann Huspra and Brian Harley took me to, the premier paranormal people.
Right.
And we're out in the middle of this field, and there's houses, but they're a couple hundred yards away from us. And there's like tall sawgrass, if you know what that's like. It's like, kind of looks like wheat, but it's not that thick. But it's all around the castle. And we're going through there, and there's nothing happening. And we get to this place where they had a dungeon that was actually just a hole in the floor with a grate over it. And Carol Ann gets down on her stomach, sticks her face next to it, and yells, "Hello!" And I'm standing there, and all of a sudden my K2 meter goes crazy for like 10 seconds, and then it went off. And nothing else after. So whatever she yelled at scared the hell out of it, I guess.
I reckon so. It sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, but what was really interesting about the place, we start walking up, and I stop on the top step, and I'm staring off into the darkness. Now, there's no lights out there. I mean, the only ambient light is the moon, right?
Right.
And I'm looking out into this really dark field, and they said, "What's going on?" I said, "Something out there." And they're looking, they said, "We don't see anything." I said, "No, there's something out there." And they said, "Well, can you see it?" I said, "No." They said, "Well, how do you know?" I said, "Because I know. There's something there," right? And they said, "Well, we don't see anything." So we go back inside and we do some hunting. We're coming out, and I stop on the stairs, and I look at the same spot again. And they said, "You're convinced something's out there?" I said, "Yeah, there is something there," right? So we go through, again, we're going all through there. Brian goes out, and he goes up to the fence and looks out to the field. He goes, "There's nothing out there." And he comes back. So we go hunt some more, and as we're leaving, we're standing on the steps, and I said, "I'm telling you, there's something out there." And they said, "Where?" And I stuck my arm out, and I pointed. I said, "Right there." And just as I pointed, what looked like an old-time lantern went on in the field, right where I was pointing.
Oh, my
And it went like maybe 10 steps and vanished, or turned off, one of the two, because we couldn't see the lamp anymore. Now, if it was somebody just, maybe sitting out there, who knows? But they were really impressed by the fact that I kept telling them, I said, "There's somebody out there." And they couldn't see it, and they looked for it, and I kept telling them, I said, "I'm telling you, I can feel him. He's out there." It's kind of like that, when a sniper's got his, rifle turned on you. You just get that feeling there's somebody there,
Well, I don't know about the sniper, but I do know about spirits. And that's always disconcerting. I'm giving you grief, but yeah, I do.
I think it goes back to, because we were with the predators and we were also the prey.
Yes.
And, we have a built-in response to when people are looking at us and things like that we don't listen to anymore, because we become civilized. We used to be able to tell when, like, a cat was watching us or,
right.
if, another person was getting ready to attack us. That was part of our makeup. And because we become civilized, we don't listen anymore. But I make a point of listening to that stuff.
Yes.
So I think that may be, if I feel like there's something around, there's probably something around. And I mean, the same thing with everybody else. It's not like a magical thing. Everybody has the same thing. They just need to listen.
I agree. And so few do, but it really comes in handy.
It can save your life.
It can save your life. I mean, I have been in situations where it did once save my life, but that's a long story for a different day. But I'm glad that you trusted that, and I'm glad that you had validation of it too.
Yeah, you should have seen the looks on their faces though when the light lit up.
I bet.
Ah!
That's one thing that I don't know. I had someone that I really trust a lot in paranormal investigation. I think is probably one of the best people I've ever investigated in my life with. He said, "A floor. You always need a floor." And you had mentioned having one with you while you were there because it cannot be debunked. Almost everything else somebody can doubt, but you cannot debunk a floor. And while you were there, did you have an opportunity to utilize yours?
I did. I used it in several places, and really, we did get something at the Real Mary King's Close. It looked like something was, and actually at this other cave too. We were all looking, and all of a sudden we saw something that looked like it just, moved, walked across behind there, which was pretty easy to see. But I will tell you, 2 times that has come in really handy. So anybody that's ghost hunter should go get one of these FLIRs. You can get them for Android. You can get them for iPhone. Cost you about $300. And it brings ghost hunting to a whole nother level. A guest that you had on not too long ago, Jack Kenna. He and I ghost hunted a place called the Buffalo Terminal, which is an old railway station. And we were down in the lobby on a ghost hunt with a bunch of other people, and they're walking around, and I'm looking through the FLIR, and I see a blue shape, human shape, standing behind everybody. So I called Jack over. I said, Jack, come here. So he comes over, and he looks, and I said, you see anything? He goes, there's somebody standing in the background. I said, yeah, there is. So I asked, quietly, I said, hey, could you guys come over this way? We got something on the FLIR. So they come over, and they're looking, and I hollered, I said, hey, we can see you back there. Can you move around a little bit? And it took like 3 steps to its right and was standing next to the stairs. And everybody looked, and it was like, wow. And I said, all right, can you do something else? And it took 3 steps back the other way and had its hand above its head like it was waving goodbye, and then gone.
Oh, my gosh.
And, yeah, amazing. As good of a sighting as you could possibly have. It responded to what we were saying.
Right.
And the damn thing didn't record. Now, we go upstairs, and I'm trying to get the thing to record, and we go upstairs, and there's a hallway with doors on each side, and Jack goes, I'm going to go here in these rooms on the side, see if I can't scare something out. So we're all looking at the FLIR, and right then, Jack comes out in the middle and walks into the hallway, and I'm looking, and something follows right behind him.
No way. That is so cool.
Yeah, really creepy. So I think maybe it's a homeless guy. So I yell, Jack, there's somebody right behind you. And I start going around the table to go help him, right? And Jack goes, what are you talking about? I'm still inside the other room.
Oh, my gosh. No way.
It wasn't him. It was not him. And that was also on the FLIR. Everybody saw it, and it wouldn't record. So when I came back, I found out that they had changed the software, and I had the older version, and it wasn't working. You could still see everything, but nothing was working.
Right.
But here's another one that was absolutely fascinating. This really nice black lady named Donna called me up and said she had a haunted house, and she thought something was attached to her. So I grabbed one of my friends, Lewis, who's also a member, and
love Lewis.
We went out to her place, and we went all through there with all the equipment, and I came down, I said, Donna, I don't think your house is haunted. There's not any feelings. There's nothing, none of the equipment's doing anything. And she goes, well, I don't think it's haunted either. And I'm looking at her like, I didn't say anything, but it's like, well, then why the hell am I here?
Right.
And she goes, I think something is attached to me. So I thought, how can we check that out? So I said, you know what? Yeah. I'll try the night vision camera. And I did that and didn't see anything. I said, you know what? I've never tried with the thermal. Let me take a look. So I put the thermal on, and sure enough, on her lower stomach on the right side, about the size of your fist and a half, was a black spot. And you know how it always comes off real light and orange and bright?
Yes.
She got this black spot. So I said, spin around, because I wanted to see if it was something on the camera. It was only in that spot, so I had her walk up and down the stairs, only in the same spot. So she gets down, and she goes, well, what do I do? And I said, well, nobody's really sure, but I've heard that if you tell it to leave you alone and beat it, that you've got more power than it has. So, why don't you try that and be forceful about it? And she says, do you mind if I use my religion? I said, use whatever makes you feel comfortable. Right. So she goes all revival minister on it. It was awesome. She goes, by the power of God. I was in awe just watching her go, right? So she goes on for like a couple minutes, and she stops. And we're just standing there, and I waited 2 minutes until after she was done, and I put the FLIR back on her, and it was just one little gray spot where the big black one had been.
Huh.
So Did she drive it off?
Mostly.
Could be.
At least mostly, right?
Could be. Something happened.
I think that's astounding, and I think it's more
And actually,
astounding
I
that
do
she
have the
saw
still
it.
pictures from that.
Yeah.
That was after they fixed the the software.
Well, was that I don't even know what I know what I'm trying to ask, but I'm not. When she still had gray on her, did you feel like that was just residual energy left after she drove it off, or did you feel like she should do it again?
Well, the first thing I told her, to be absolutely honest with you, I showed her the picture and I said, Donna, the first thing I want you to do is go to a doctor.
Right.
And she goes, what? I said, you may have a blockage of some kind because there's obviously a very cold spot on your body.
Right.
Right? I said, you should go to a doctor, right? And she goes, okay, I will. And after that, she said, well, look, it looks like it's almost gone. And there was other spots on her body that were light gray. So, I mean, it might have been the material of the clothes, where that was, but it really looked like it had pretty much gone.
Good.
So I still told her, I said, you should still go see a doctor. So
Absolutely.
she actually called me up and asked if I would send the pictures over so she could show the doctor. And the doctor even said, I have no idea what that is.
Oh, wow. I love when that happens, right? But,
yeah, but that was very interesting.
Well, did she feel like she was not under oppression anymore?
Yeah, pretty much. She's actually sent other people to me to go help them.
Smart lady.
So that was...
Too cool.
So that is a piece of equipment if somebody's saying something's attached to. Might be really good to check because, I mean, there was certainly a really dark spot on Donna.
I would
and
never
after
have
she
thought
yelled
of
to get
that.
away, it was gone.
I would never have thought of using it, in that situation.
Well, I just kind of bumbled into it myself. It wasn't any flash of brilliance or anything, which I'd like to lie and say it was, but it wasn't. I just figured, I got to clear. Let's take a look, see if I can see anything with that.
Yeah.
And son of a gun.
Here it was. Well, you have to figure that there would be some variance if there was truly an attachment. But,
well, that's kind of what got to me because I figured, if it was cold, it would have to be, an attachment of something. It'd have to be a cold spot. So I figured, all right, this might work. Let me try this. And then son of a gun right there.
That's astounding. I mean, I'm just blown away. Well, my first instinct when somebody says something like that is to call my friend Dave Considine. It's like, nope, I don't like, dealing with anything that would be a negative attachment. But now I know to check it.
Well, unfortunately, I have been the recipient of something like that.
Have you really?
And actually at the Pioneer Saloon outside Vegas.
Oh my gosh, that place is bizarre.
I went in there and actually I really think it was two different female spirits tried to attach to me, and I got so sick instantly I thought I was going to throw up.
Oh, no.
My head started pounding. I was getting lightheaded. And we're listening, and they filmed it, so you can actually see the film. And you can see that I'm sick in the background because I'm like, ugh, you can just kind of see, I'm not leaning over anything, but you can tell I'm being real quiet, and it's not like me, right?
True that.
But the girl goes like this. The K2 meters, there was two in front of me, and everybody else had equipment and stuff. None of it was going off, but both of the K2 meters in front of me were going off all 5 lights. And right then I heard, Rick. I mean, I looked around and I was like, did anybody hear that? And they went, yeah, we heard something called Rick. And I said, yeah, I did too. So then the K2 goes off again, and all of a sudden, I mean, I feel like I've been shot in the stomach. I mean, I'm so sick.
Oh, no.
And we hear on there, the girl says, Jilly Beans is her nickname. She goes, wow, it looks like they really like you. And I say, I'm not so sure they do.
Really?
And you hear a voice on the recording go, we do, a girl's voice. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and then you hear Rick again, right? And then she looks at me, she goes, what's the matter? I said, touch my forehead. And I felt like I was really, really hot. And she touches my head. She goes, you are like ice.
Oh, my goodness.
And the girl next to me reaches over and touches me.